Good morning, or is it evening? It is evening. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for joining me today. Welcome to Vision for Young Men, the show designed to encourage you, uplift you, and help to make you and I a better man. Let's see, I want you to see me. Let's see, here I am. Oh my God, I want to thank everybody for joining me this evening. In the first hour, we have Miss Bradye Robinson. And Bradye is going to come on and talk about her book, The Power Within. You have what it takes. You have what it takes. The power within, says Bradye. And she's a very inspiring young lady, and we're going to be talking to her soon. And then later on this evening, we're going to talk to my friend, Pastor Dwayne Turner. Is the Christian church relevant for men in the 21st century? We're going to talk about that, Dwayne and I. Dr. Jawanza Kunjufu wrote a book called Vision for Black Men. He wrote the book called Adam, Where Are You? Why Black Men Do Not Attend Church. And in that book, he asked a question about whether or not the church was relevant today. So we're going to be talking to Pastor Dwayne Turner, later on as the show moves on. And then we're going to take your calls, by the way. You're going to be able to call in and talk to our guests or talk to me, ask me questions. Don't call in right now, but here's the call-in phone number, 817, write it down, 817-404-4045. Or you can join us on the chat room. Let me get here in Facebook. If you're listening through the live stream or in Facebook, you can join us on the chat. The phone number again is 817-404-4045. 817-404-4045. So what's happening out there these days, other than the country appears to be going to hell in a handbasket? I mean, with these latest revelations regarding the January 6th events, and where for the first time that we know of, someone tried to stage a coup on the country, and it was obviously the former president, Donald Trump. And some revelations came out the other day that literally it was a showstopper in which he basically had planned it, literally planned to march on the Capitol like George Washington and go in and literally stop the counting of the electoral votes. And, yesterday, one of his chief of staff secretary had a long revealing testimony in front of the Congress, the select committee of the Congress, and literally told on Donald Trump, basically, and told on the other ones that are involved in this. And I've been saying this for a while, ladies and gentlemen, that you have to, the rot has to come to the surface in order for us to see it and be ready to release it. And so if you're thinking that, it's so bad, sometimes it could be a good thing for this kind of stuff to happen. So, because if you get to understand what's going on in your country, and then you kind of get a sense of what you can do as the transitions are being made. And I've been saying that we are in the midst of a turning over of worlds. One world is passing and another world is coming on the scene. And we are in the midst of watching that. And so it behooves us to understand where we are in time, It behooves us to understand where we fit in this whole scheme of things. It behooves us to understand that time passes on. When you are in time, time passes for everyone, and there are risings and there are fallings. It does not, no one gets to stay in the same physical manifestation forever. There's a time and a season for all things. The time to be born, a time to live and grow, a time for the decline and a passing on, and another generation comes. This is true for heavens, it's true for earth, it's true for animals, it's true for humans, it's true for planets. Under time, this is what occurs. So I've been submitting to you that we are witnessing the transition from one world order to a new world order. And what the world order rarely wants to leave. It rarely wants to leave. And it's so clever that it has many of you believing that there is something wrong with a new world order. And I've been saying, okay, if you're going to say that you don't want a new world order and you're saying that this is part of a new world order, then by necessity you are claiming that the present world order is good. Because if a new world order is opposite from this world order, and you're saying that a new world order is no good, then it stands to reason that the world order we're in is good. And I ask you, is that the truth? This program this evening, and we're going to be doing this every Wednesday, is designed to address issues of men. Designed to help men grow, mature, designed to help us in our health, in our relationships, in our employment, our occupation, designed to help us navigate vision for young men. And it's designed to, of course, give us vision, to help us with vision. You know, it says without a vision, people perish. So we're trying to impart sight to young men. You know, I get a lot of people calling me, asking me questions about little technical things, especially single moms, calling me and asking me questions about their sons. What's going on with my son? Why does he seem to be so rebellious? And obviously I'm raising sons myself. And so they assume that I know what I'm doing. They assume that I know what I'm doing, people. But I'm here to tell you, were it not for my higher power, ladies and gentlemen, I tell you that it would be a bigger struggle than it has been raising 3 boys. But we haven't been taught. We haven't been taught, and this is one of the things that we have to understand. We don't know because we haven't been taught. So I'm hoping to take the little knowledge that I've acquired as a result of raising my sons and help you take the things that I've acquired as a help from my reading, from my research, and help you to raise your sons, to deal with what your man might be thinking in these days. If you don't have one, Why isn't the one that you don't have, that you desire to have, why isn't he responding? And we're going to deal with health issues. I'm going to have doctors coming onto the program. But today I have some guests that Bradye is going to talk about the power within you. And by the way, and I'm not gonna blow it for her before she gets here, but she's a very, very talented young lady, and I kid you not, she knows her stuff, and she believes in what she says. And then Pastor Dwayne is going to come on, and this brother is deep. This brother's deep. Now I'm going to hit him hard because you know how I am about these preachers. So I'm going to back him in a corner. I'm going to work on him a little bit, and I'm going to see what some of his ideas are concerning making the 21st century church relevant to men. Maybe somebody want to call in. Let me see, just to do a little test of my phone system, see if my phone system is working. 817-404-4045. 817-404-4045. You can call in if you have a question or something you want to touch on before we get our guests coming on the program. Listen, I'm Dr. Fleming, and I'll be right back, and we'll get this show on the road. So what do you think about what happened to with respect to the president being brought up, literally indicted or literally implicated, I should say, in this coup? As we wait for Bradye to chime in, we're waiting for her to chime in. I guess I'll just talk to you a little bit. 404 is the number. Area code is 817-404-4045. 817-404-4045. Listen, I heard, someone told me today, and I didn't, just before I came on the air, that R. Kelly got some significant jail time. Does anybody know anything about that? He got some significant jail time. So I don't know. I didn't get a chance to research it. I guess I'll look it up right now and see what's happening. But if anyone knows about that, give me a call at 817-404-4045 and bring me up to speed on what happened to Mr. R. Kelly. So I'm looking here right now, and it says here that R. Kelly was sentenced to 30 years in prison for federal racketeering. Federal racketeering, that's a RICO law. I'm not going to read the thing, but apparently they got him up on RICO charges and sex trafficking. And I'm not going to even give my opinion on this because I do have one, but I'm going to maybe reserve that opinion for later. But he apparently, according to CNN, racketeering and sex trafficking charges. R. Kelly, the singer. I love R. Kelly's music, by the way. I really do. Like, I don't see nothing wrong with a little bump and grind. I don't know about you, but I don't see nothing wrong with a little bump and grind. It's one of his songs, you know what I'm saying? And I enjoyed his music. He made great music. But apparently he bumped and grind with the wrong one, and it's costing him 30 years. So that is there. If you want to talk about that, we got about 15 minutes that we can talk until our guest comes. 817-404-4045, 817-404-4045, 817-404-4045 is the phone number. And you can chime in on that or anything else that you want to chime in on until our guest comes. So we were talking a little bit about the president, Donald Trump, or the former president, Donald Trump, being implicated by one of his high staff members of his national team, his cabinet, young lady, 25 years old. And I think my guest is about showed up. So again, she's here. So now I'm going to be right back. I'm going to get her in, queued up, make sure she's on, and then we're going to get her going. So just stay tuned. We'll be right back with Miss Bradye Robinson, and she's going to give us some real tips from her book. Are you there?
I am here. Hello, 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 Dr. Fleming. How are you?
Hello. Oh, I'm fine. Let me make sure I got you queued up and everything. Let's see. I got you there. There we go. All right. All right. I am glad to have you on the program this evening, Miss Bradye Robinson. Thank you for coming in and joining me this evening and helping to make this show successful, like you
Well,
did
thank
that
you for inviting
bachelor
me.
party.
Yes,
Yeah,
yes, yes, yes.
yes, yes.
Good times.
So, tell us a little bit about your book. You wrote a book, Your Power Within. You have what it takes. Now, first of all, what inspired you to write just the title itself? What inspired you for that title?
Good stuff, good stuff, good stuff. Well, first, let's see, let's back up. When I always said I'm gonna write a book. I knew that the things that I've been through life was warrant for a good read, right? And I knew that I learned early in life that what we go through is not just for yourself, it's to help someone else. So your power within, you have what it takes. Now, from a spiritual aspect, the title came about because I know that once we accept Christ as our Lord and Savior, everything you need to succeed is deposited into you at that moment, right? You may not
Okay.
be ready for it. You may not know how to use it, but what you need is in you because that's a guarantee of accepting Christ as your Savior. He said, everything you need is in you. So the power is in you. You have what it takes, but we don't know that all the time.
Okay. And what are some of the techniques you use in the book? Now, I got to tell you that my brother, I gave this book to my brother,
Yes.
and I shared with you some of the troubles that he was going through, and
Mhm.
he said, "Man, that book is amazing." He read the book, and he was able to deal with some of the things that he was dealing with as a result of that book. So I know, and then of course I read it myself. Um,
Mhm.
um, I think it was last year. Was that last year we did
Mhm.
that? Wow. I
Yes,
mean, that's
yes.
oh my
It has. It has. And thank you so much for being supporters. And again, like you said, I'm Bradye Robinson. I'm here from the Dallas area. I did publish my first work. I have another one coming out real soon. But it's your power within. You have what it takes. So those of you that know, I'm a real big supporter of vision boards, writing your things down. I'm very I'm real big on setting priorities, to-do lists, having it in front of you, because we have so many great ideas and so many things we need to get done, but we don't always get it done. So
Well,
learning how to,
let's start with the vision board then. Let's start with
yes,
the
let's go with
vision
the
board.
vision board. That is, and
What is
Dr.
the
Fleming, you're big on that. I love
Oh,
your
I'm
vision
big
board.
on that. I'm big on
Yes,
that vision board deal, and I'm here to tell you people that it works. It
yes.
works because I mean, without a vision, it's just difficult to do it. But I'm not going to take the thunder because I like to hear what you have to say about that. Tell us about a vision board and the purpose of a vision board.
Absolutely. So the purpose of the vision board, I know, let's go back. I'm kind of dating myself. When we were young, we used to do what we call collages. Remember, we would get the construction paper and cut out things in the J.C. Penney thick catalog that we wanted for
Mm-hmm.
Christmas, or we wanted for back to school, or we would just make a collage of different houses, cars, and things we want. It's the same concept, because we all know nothing's new under the sun. So the vision board for me, when I was in a hopeless place in my life, there was a time in my life I was just down and out. I didn't see a way out. I knew that I wouldn't remain in this valley long, but I had to have a tangible item, something that I could focus on to give me hope, right? You can look at
Mm-hmm.
social media, you can look at your favorite actors and singers and things like that, but I needed something that's relatable for me. So I did an old school collage, and I put a little bit more effort in it. Now, mind you, this is where I'm in between jobs. I'm a new mom, car down, I'm catching the public transportation, and I'm just in a low spot, nothing else to do on a Friday night, get out some construction paper, and I just start writing things down that I want to do. And the list was so long. It was just things I want to do. These were things I want to do within the next 3 months to the next 3 years. So I created a vision board. Then it was heavy on my heart, Habakkuk 2 and 2, write the vision, make it plain, put it on a tablet, give it to a herald, which would be, I give it to Dr. Fleming, or I show one of my friends, and it go forth. So I really believe in the vision board because it helps you stay focused. First of all, it says write the vision, make it plain, right? So make it plain. Pictures for me, I'm a visual person. So if I can see the big pretty house I want there, I'm gonna put it there.
Yes.
And I have my vision board in my room. So I look at mine like 2 or 3 times a week.
Right.
The funny thing about it is when you do the vision board, it's amazing how things just start to check themselves off, even without you trying. I'll look at my vision board maybe 6 months later, and I would have accomplished 4 or 5 things or items on that. So I'm really big on the vision board because it's something you create. It's realistic for you. It's a tangible item, and it gives you something to kind of like a guideline, like you're pressing towards. Okay, I can see the house. I can see it here. Today, I got to go to get there.
Mm-hmm. Okay,
So I
we
like
were
it.
talking about vision boards, and you can take any subject that you want and make it your vision board.
Yes.
Or okay, you were talking about
Yes.
collages. Would you make take the vision board in a collage setup like everything, or would you have a subject matter
Very good question.
vision?
Yes, very good question. And that's what I do. I specialize in hosting vision board parties because there are different types of vision boards. I have examples.
Mm-hmm.
There are different types of vision boards. You can do theme specific, item specific. So, like for me, I do a general one for the year for what I want to do. That includes my faith, finances, family, fitness, fun. It's all of my fundamentals, my F's, right? But I came last year, I got stuck on this one thing. I wanted to redecorate my bedroom. I have been wanting to redecorate my bedroom. I bought my house 5 years ago, decorate the whole house, everything except for my bedroom. I made a vision board April of last year. just for my room, just my bedroom. Because I was like, I'm going to get this done this year. So it was just for my bedroom. I got the board, I put down the chair, everything I wanted. A
Now,
friend of mine,
Brady,
let me tell you
Brady.
how God
Okay,
works.
all right, because I'm getting ready to hit you with something here.
Yeah,
Now
let me
this
tell you
sound.
how God works.
Tell us
I
how
did the
God
vision
works, because
board.
I'm gonna talk about you now.
Yes. So I did the vision board. I did it with the group. And a friend of mine knocks on my door. I want to say months later, she did not know that I did a specific vision board just to get myself in the mindset to do my room.
Hmm.
She knocked on my door. Yes, it was after my birthday because it was for my birthday. And she came in with armloads of stuff and said, God told her to help me decorate my bedroom. She didn't even know that that was a thorn in my flesh that I could not move past. And mind you, I did that vision board in April. My birthday was October. So I still was procrastinating. I knew I had to get it done. But the point I'm making is even when you can't get it done, God will assign people to you. That's in my book. That's one of those chapters.
Okay.
People
Yes.
will be
Okay. We're gonna get
assigned
to
to
that.
you. Yeah, they
Yeah.
people are assigned to you to bring the mission about. So a friend of mine, she knocked on my door and she had these beautiful colors that went with my room. And that day, we did my whole entire bedroom. That was a
Wow.
testimony for me because I couldn't
Wow.
get out of my funk and rut to do it. She didn't even know I did a vision board for that. She didn't even know I wanted to do that.
Mhm.
That was her birthday gift to me.
Now,
That's God.
Brady, this sounds good, but it sounds all girly, girly.
Right.
How? I mean, what about men, young men,
Come
and
on.
this girly, girly thing you talking about here?
Got you.
Vision board. How does the thing?
Got you.
Is that something that works for men as well as women? Because you said a
Absolutely.
woman. Go ahead and elaborate.
Absolutely. I think it works better for the males because you guys are visual, right? You're visual first. You can't help it, visual by nature. So if you have your goals and the things you want to do in front of you, you have a stronger chance of hitting it. Now, I do vision board parties for all males, things like that. And the feedback I receive, even with my own son, it's
Hmm.
funny how in my household, my son accomplishes more on his vision board than me and my daughter every year. And he's the
Yes.
least focused on it. Like,
Now,
but you
now,
know how you guys are. Say you
right.
put it on the board, this is what I'm gonna do, and it happens.
Well, here's why. Here's why. I mean, I have this philosophy that talks about the fact that the male is the one that actually has vision, and I mean that's not to
Has the
say that the
vision.
females don't,
Absolutely.
but the
I
male
agree
has
with
been given what he wants to see, and then he impregnates, and that it
absolutely.
comes about. So it actually works very well for the male because of that masculine energy and the orientation of that masculine energy. So
Yes.
now tell us about the book, Your Power Within. I notice, and I'm big on words, Brady. I'm big on words. You say
Yes.
your, I think mine. All right.
Right.
And but
Yours.
so you say you use the possessive. Your power is something that you already have starting out.
Yes.
Now
Hmm.
talk about it from that aspect, if you will. Say that.
So we
Go at it
all
like that. Yeah.
Yes, we all are
Yeah.
created in God's image, right? So we all possess this power. There is power, and it sounds magical and it's she fairy tale. But here it's simple as that. Once you decide, like I said, once you accept Christ, once you come into the kingdom, hey, everything you need to succeed is already there. Everything you need is already there. All of our needs are met, right? So what you want to do and the desires of your heart, if it's a burning desire in your heart, it won't go away. You can do it. Now, I had to write that chapter because I did not believe that. I saw so many people accomplishing their goals and dreams. I thought because I couldn't sing, I couldn't draw, I thought talent was that.
Hmm.
So I had to walk through this channel to be able to write it in my book, to because I learned that I have everything I need. And it was just like that. It was just realizing I have everything. And how I realized it, I started accomplishing things on my vision board. It was things that were huge. I wanted to buy a house by a certain time. I wanted to publish my book by a certain time. For me, that was so big and so out of the reach. So and once I tapped into, okay, you keep thinking this thought, Let's process it and let's put it into action. The power
Mm-hmm.
I needed to do it was already there. I'm a motivational speaker. You have to be motivated. You have to be inspired. Those are two different things. It comes
Right.
at different times. Just because I'm motivated today does not mean I'm inspired to do something about it,
Right.
right?
Right.
I could be inspired to do this, but I'm not motivated to get out the bed.
Mm-hmm.
So it was, I had to
Very
walk
good
through this
distinction.
journey for this
I
book.
like that distinction that you made. Now we had a conversation a while back, and we both
Right.
stumbled upon a concept because there's this
Yes.
conversation going on among men and young. And now my 17-year-old is dating now, so I'm having to deal with
Yes.
that. But
Yes.
we were talking about it, and we stumbled upon this thing about your mate and your mission. Can you
Yes.
how could you parlay that with the vision board?
Oh, that was revelation. That was revelation. I remember having that discussion, and I remember you saying, giving me that analogy, saying that your mate is in your mission. I didn't understand that. I didn't understand that. I wrote it down so I could
Mm-hmm.
read it back and say, okay, what does he mean by that? And it all goes into the basis of the book until you're walking in your purpose. So whatever you're set on this earth to do, whatever it is, what's your gift, what's your talent, what is it that you do that comes naturally, that people are drawn to you because of that? See, for me, they drawn to me for my personality. I'm very good at motivating you. Come on, let's do it. I can get you hyped
Mm-hmm.
up. And when you said your mate is in your mission, I didn't understand that until I thought about it. What I translated from that was, I'm going to be doing what I'm supposed to do, and my mate is going to come along. He's watching me. My mate is watching me. There is someone praying for exactly my personality, for me. And once we walk into our purpose and we're doing what we're set out to do, everything falls in place, even the mate. So for your 17-year-old son, tell him to follow the mission, and the girls will come.
Absolutely. It's absolutely. We had a conversation today along those lines, and I basically uh, guided him towards that. And I want to say to the ladies with young men in their
Yes.
teenage years that's starting to look at the girls and whatever they happen to be, that if they can stay focused, because he was going to go now. This is exactly why I wanted to bring this up, because he was going to change his direction because she was going in a direction, and he wanted to
Right.
be along with her. And I said, no, son, take your path. She will follow
Yeah.
you. She will follow
Yes.
you in your path, but and then she will respect you as a man
Come
when
on.
she sees that you're focused and that you're not going to go off the mission that you have for your life. Because a woman's
Absolutely.
natural tendency is to follow the male. And if she sees
Absolutely.
that he is focused, that he's willing to do what he has to do, then she'll follow
Mhm.
you. So
It's true.
he's saying this power is within these young men, even on that level. Even
Even
on
on
the
that
level,
level,
it's not limited to anything in
adults.
particular.
That is
Now
true, and
listen to this.
it's good he has you to tell him that, because a lot. And this, sorry for cutting in, but think about the young men that did not have that male voice of reason to say, "No, son, you stay on your path."
Hmm.
You understand? So it's good that you have that, and he'll like I tell my kids, "You'll thank me later. He'll thank you
Yeah.
later."
Hmm. So now here's the relevant question, because I noticed you kept saying accept Christ. What if I'm a Muslim? What if now we're not talking about the vision
Mhm.
boards per se now,
I
but
understand.
but what if I'm a Muslim? Or what if I'm an atheist? Or what if
Uh-huh.
I'm an agnostic? How
Mhm.
does your book apply to me? Do I have
How,
to?
very good, very good, because I did make sure I wanted to reach all realms of the aspect. And how that applies to you, first of all, it's what it starts in your head. What do you believe? What do
Hmm.
you believe? That's why the book takes you through a process of bettering yourself, believing in yourself. First, we got, how, like, before, guys, you play football before the game, you in the gym, in the locker room. Come on, we gotta do this. You hype yourself up, right? You
Yes.
have to motivate yourself. Your destination cannot be prompted from someone else's energy. It
Right.
cannot be prompted from someone else's view. Alonzo can call and give me hype and gas me up, but I cannot cross that finish line unless I
Right.
put some of my own into it. So
Right.
whether you're faith-based or not, whatever your however you describe yourself or whatever you fall under, or if you are just, hey,
Mm-hmm.
a free spirit out here, whatever, you have what it takes. You have to believe that first. First of all, the thought wouldn't have came to you, right? I had to learn that, y'all. I did not believe that. I didn't. It took me till I was in my 40s to believe. So I'm here to save you some years, right?
Yeah.
Young men, young women, you have what it takes. If you are saying, man, I'm gonna own me a food truck, you do know that you can do that, right?
Mm-hmm.
You do know. See, we think at the end, right? So what it is when you see that I'm gonna own a food truck, now your work is to go back. What do I do first? I need to get an EIN. I need to get an LLC. I need to know how. I need to at least have 3 great recipes. How much does a food truck cost?
Yeah.
Da 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 da. So the vision board is the big picture, right? So
Right.
what Dr. Fleming and I do, we prepare you to learn so you can walk up each step. So think about this big old house on the hill, but it's 1,000 steps. You got to take one step at a time.
Mm-hmm.
That's a part of that goes along with the vision. The process to get the vision is the work done to get to the end. So
Yes.
any whether you are Muslim, hey, Catholic, whatever, you have what it takes. But the first thing, you have to believe it for yourself. Let me help you with that because I didn't believe it. But guess what? I
Mm-hmm.
said it every day until my thoughts caught up with my words. Everybody kept saying, Brady, you can do this, you can do this. I got tired of everybody telling me that, so I said it myself. And I kept saying, I'm a published author. I'm a published author. I'm a best-selling author. I'm a business owner. I'm this. I didn't believe it when I said it, but eventually I started acting as such. I started
Right.
writing better. I started
Right.
attracting different people. That's in the book
Right.
too, because once you get in your purpose, the people you need just gonna start coming in your path, right?
Absolutely.
Because I met Dr. Fleming through a mutual friend. I
That's right.
needed he was the missing, he was the piece to get me to the next level. So it had to happen. I wasn't saying, oh Lord, can I meet somebody that's a mentor for males? Da, da, da.
Mm-hmm.
What I was just doing what I was supposed to do, and he
Right.
fell in my path.
And likewise, I was doing what I was supposed to do. I don't
Absolutely.
want to do no vision board party. But I knew that the boys needed a vision. I knew they
Because
needed.
you have one. What I like about it, you have one like me. You have one that's a couple years old, and it
Mm-hmm.
works.
It
It
works.
works. I remember your vision board. It had a similar house to the one you have on now. You didn't even know nothing about the house you live in
Right.
now,
Right. Right.
but you knew you wanted this, this, and this.
Exactly. That's exactly how it works. Now, we let's go to belief.
Okay.
How can you be make a vision that's within the realm of your ability to believe in it? For example, I want $1 gazillion. You
Mhm.
know, how do you measure to where it really is realistic versus way out there and a near impossibility?
Absolutely. That's a great question because I do believe that today our youth are kind of blindsided by the big picture, but they're not told how to get there. So, to make the vision board within the realms of what you are desiring, what you're wanting, the best thing I can tell you to do your vision board. But for each picture that you have on that vision board, have a written
Mm-hmm.
out plan. So yes, I want $1 million, but before I can get to $1 million, I need to make 6 figures. Before I can get to 6 figures, I need to probably hit 50,000. So I start from there. Okay, I'm already making
Right.
60,000. What am I missing to get to the 6 figures?
Yeah.
You have to break it down. It's like, think about it. We can't eat the elephant all at one time. You eat it one bite at a time, right? So
Absolutely.
you have to have your steps. You have to write it down. Guys, what I want you to focus on, this life that you were so graciously given, take more care in it,
Right.
orchestrate it better. Got it. Tell your life what to do. Don't just wake up and do what life tells you to do because you didn't
Right,
plan the night before,
right,
right? So
right,
that what Dr. Fleming and I are trying to get you guys to think on another level. Here's the thing. You can control 80 to 90% of what happens in your life. Of course, things happen, deaths, car wrecks, things like that we have no
hmm
control, no planning for. But majority of what goes on, we can control, right?
right,
Everybody has this control factor. If we were to shift our energy and focus more on what needs to be controlled instead of trying to control others,
right,
come on,
right.
we get there, right? So that
Mhm.
energy of me trying to control Dr. Fleming and his show, well, you need to do it like this. How about I just create better content, present it to him?
Absolutely.
He's gonna love it, and it's gonna automatically craft the show. So it's like you find your lane, stay in your lane. What are you
Now
trying to do?
let's how now
Focus on it.
let's good. Now let's take it a little further. Let's broaden it
Okay.
a little bit further. We talked about it in terms of the individual. Let's
Yes.
broaden it to a family.
Come on.
Uh, Taking this
Absolutely.
vision and this power that we have within, how would it work in the context of a family?
Of a family. Because what so for the family, what we would do, we all have to have a common goal. What's the goal? What's the common goal? And it does not have to be a tangible item. The goal could be, you know what? I want us to talk to each other more kinder in this home.
Right.
Um, the goal could be
We eat in my house. We eat dinner on Sundays together.
it could be
We
together.
do we eat
It,
dinner because
it's something like that, right?
there are no cell phones allowed
Uh-huh.
at the dinner table. We may not eat Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and Saturday, but we
Yeah.
eat on Sunday, and it's a formal situation. No phones are allowed, and you'd be amazed at what your children think
Come
when
on.
you
Come
sit
on.
down and eat with them and just sit and
Okay.
listen. It's just
Yeah.
amazing what they
And I'm
think.
glad that you have that concept and orchestrating that for a family. I do believe that just like married couples, individual, everybody, you should have, if we are doing life together, we need to have a goal because if everybody's focusing on their own goals, it's going to be a breakdown somewhere. It's
Right.
great that my whole family, everybody have their own goals, but we need to come
Mhm.
back and center. And what is one goal that we all can work toward that keeps the unity, that
Right.
keeps the communication open, that
Hmm.
keeps everybody on one page, that keeps the boundaries, right?
Yeah.
So mama said that she want us to, we can't go out to eat because we're going on a trip. That keeps the, can we go to McDonald's, can we stop at Chili's?
Right.
That
Hmm.
every month, see, here's the thing, expectations are need to be set. So if we implement
Hmm.
that and let every, okay, this is what we're working on. So from a family, a familiar aspect, absolutely.
Yes.
What's the goal? We're gonna, like you said, the goal could be we're gonna pray every morning when we get up. We're gonna have devotion. It may take
Hmm.
a few days, a few weeks to get it in routine,
Right. Right.
but let's sit down and talk about it, and we all know what we need to do. It will fall in place. So, yeah,
Wonderful.
I mean, it's just kind of like what I always say. Hey, the submission is sexy when the expectations are laid out clearly, right?
Uh-huh.
There you
Hmm.
go.
Absolutely. Now we talking about it from the terms of a family.
Absolutely.
Let's broaden it a little bit further and talk about in
Okay.
terms of community. Now, I have some
Mhm.
issues with in the African American community with all this
Mhm.
marching and protesting, but that's just a political thing, okay?
Mhm.
But I'm very concerned about a goal,
Uh-huh.
a community-wide goal. How would it work? And we don't have to address it from a political
I
standpoint,
understand that.
but I just use that to just kind of
I
set it
understand that.
up. How do
Right.
we get some kind of community objective?
Absolutely. So again, I think once if the vision is made clearly, you have more chance of more people aiming towards that. So if we have the basketball goal right here in the center and everybody see the goal, I'm not going to turn around and shoot that way. I'm going to shoot towards the goal, right? So far
Hmm.
as a community aspect, let's just say, for example, for my community, I'm concerned with the litter.
Okay.
Okay.
Yes.
Too much trash, too much litter. Y'all pick.
Yes.
Okay. So what I can do, the vision is, hey, make an announcement, go on social media, put out flyers. Let's start out with on Tuesdays, everybody go outside, pick up 3 pieces of trash. Pretty much the more you put the vision in people's face, the more, the more attractive it'll be. It's like a magnet. You'll be drawn to it. So far as a community, just say you want to do more crime watch meetings. Host
Right.
the first one. Nobody may show up, but host
Mm-hmm.
another one. Keep doing it. Get the
Yes.
word out. That's your vision. Here's the thing. If the vision came to you, it's not stupid. It's not dumb. It's
Mm-hmm.
for a reason. Everybody may not see your vision. That's why God didn't give it to everybody, right?
Right.
So if the
Right.
vision is with you, you post that vision, you work towards that vision, make it known, get your camaraderies. We have constituents, camaraderies. And hey, come on, everybody.
Mm-hmm.
You may have a friend just for this one thing. Once you accomplish that, y'all may, hey, go separate way. That's okay. But for as a community, get the word out. What is your vision? I know here, I'm in Lancaster. Here is keeping the city clean. So guess what? When
Yes.
I stop at the gas station, I find myself picking up other people's trash. I see the
Mm-hmm.
commercials so much. I'll be like, oh, let me pick that up. I will not throw litter out. I don't do it
Right.
anyway, but I especially won't do it in my community. It's
Right.
because
Right. That's respect.
somebody's vision has been on the forefront and they keep talking about it. Just like
Yes.
the more you advertise, the more I advertise my book, probably the better sales I get. Keep the
Yes.
vision in front of you. Keep it in everybody's face. It's important to you. Make it.
Speaking of advertising your book, how do you get your hands on a copy of your Power Within?
Oh,
How
great
can I get my
question.
hands on a copy of
Great question. You can get it on Amazon. You can search it by my name or the title of the book, Barnes and Noble. And if you're in the Dallas area, even if not, I can mail it to you. I can mail you a signed copy, or I will be gladly to deliver it to you. You can find me on all social media, Bradye Robinson or Robinson Empowerment Group. But get your
that?
copy. I
Okay.
think you'll like it.
Okay, well, Bradye Robinson, and you have been an amazing friend to me. And as she said, ladies and gentlemen, we met based on a mutual
Mhm.
need from a vision that we had. She had a
Right.
vision of what she was doing. I had a vision of what I wanted to do, and we connected from that as a result of that vision bringing us together.
We
And
did.
I'm here to tell you that I was in some circumstances that were pretty dire, and in the circumstance is when I made my vision board. I
Yeah.
didn't wait till I got out of the circumstance. I was in the situation, and I put my vision board together, and then found myself doing all those things.
Let
And
me ask you a question regarding that for the fellas. Now that's how I did mine. I was at my bottom when I did my vision board. I mean, it was either that or I'm looking at black walls because I'm like, I don't know what to do next. When you did that in the midst of your valley, what did that do for you? Why even do it?
oh
Was you
oh
bored?
well,
Did you just want to cut out pictures? Tell the fellas
no, the
about that because
thought
I
came
want to
to
hear it
my
from a
mind.
male. I want to hear it from a
the
male.
the thought came to my mind, what do you want? You in
Right.
this situation, you know you don't want this,
Mhm.
but what do you want? And I at first I began to just write it down. I started
Yes.
just writing things down. And then the thought came from that and fed that thought and said, what would it look like? And so I remembered, like you said, the collages we used to do. So
Hmm.
I started saying, okay, let me take this one subject. Because at first I started to have a multiplicity of subjects, and I
Yeah.
knew I couldn't concentrate on all of that.
Hmm.
So I said, well, what is it that I want most? And I took that particular subject and did that. Then after I accomplished that, I said, well, this will work for other things too. So I
Yeah.
picked another subject and did a whole nother vision board on that one subject. And that is manifesting as we speak.
Come on. That's
So
good.
I see it, I feel it, I sense it right
I
near
like
me
that.
as
Okay.
we speak. So
Yeah.
it works.
I like that. What I like about the vision board, it doesn't matter if you're right brain thinker, left brain thinker. It doesn't
Yes.
matter if you're one of those people that get micro tuned into one thing, or if you're artsy
Mm-hmm.
like me and you have a million thoughts running through your head. No,
Yes.
it's not a right or wrong way. I have a lot of things I want to do, and I just had to do my vision board. I put it all on there, but I organized it.
Right.
I organized it. Okay, so we're gonna have faith over here. We're gonna have family right here, and everything for
Mm-hmm.
family. What I want to do here. And so, guys, don't get discouraged. Your vision board may not look like Dr. Family. It may not look like mine.
Right.
Do you? Do you? The point is, okay, psychologically, you're just getting it out of your head onto paper, right? We have so much in our head. 90% of the thoughts in our head are toxic from
Mm-hmm.
commercials, billboards, negative
Right.
energy. You have to get your creative thoughts out of your head onto a safe space, which is paper. Start
Yes.
with that. Write it first, then create your vision board. The reason being, if you write it, it's less likely to get tainted from the tainted thoughts, right? So you're
Right.
gonna organize, you put it there. It doesn't, don't get discouraged if you're like, well, I don't have a goal. What do you like? What makes you happy?
Yes.
What would you like more of?
Mm-hmm.
I'm
Yeah.
content. I've accomplished my goals. I don't need it. Or for the brothers, hey, I got my wife, I got my degree, I got my
Yeah.
career, I'm good. Okay, now you
Mm-hmm.
can do a board to enhance the things you have. How could you make
Right.
that marriage better? How could you improve your home? How could you
That's
save more
good.
money? Yeah, because
Mm-hmm.
with me and you guys are goal oriented, and when you
Right.
accomplish things, that when you accomplish things, it make you go harder for the next thing.
Yes. Exactly.
So yeah, it's great.
Well, Brady, we're going to move on, but I want to thank you for coming onto the
Yes,
program. But listen,
absolutely.
I want you to tell the people again how to get your book.
Absolutely. Thank you guys for this opportunity. Again, I'm Bradye Robinson of Robinson Empowerment Group. You can hit me on all social media, Bradye. I can mail the book, I can deliver it, or get it on Amazon or Barnes and Nobles, anywhere you order your reading material. You guys have a great day, and thank you for this opportunity.
Thank you, Brady. Thank
All
you for
righty.
coming onto the program.
All right. Goodbye.
All right. Bye bye. Well, ladies and gentlemen, you've heard it right here. Bradye Robinson. And she's going to make you, help you, encourage you to see the power within. We will be right back, and I'm going to get our pastor, our resident pastor, to come on board, and he's going to talk to us about the church. You know, Brady was talking about faith, so we're going to keep that theme going, I guess, and talk about church. Is the church relevant? Is the Christian church relevant? You know that I beat up on these preachers. I'm like Mike Tyson when it comes to preachers. So I ain't gonna hurt him too bad. But we're gonna talk to Pastor Dwayne Turner when we come right back. Ladies and gentlemen, we'll be right back. We are back, and I think I have a phone call. Caller, are you there? I think I got a phone call, but let's see if I can get this right. Caller, are you there? Nope, nope, they hung up. Call back. The number is 817-404. Oh, let's try this again. Are you there, caller? Let's see here. Are you there? Yes. Hello? Okay. I got to get my phone system going again. Pastor Dwayne.
Yes, sir.
Are you there, my friend?
Oh, been pretty good. Yourself?
I'm doing good, man. I want to thank you for coming on this evening. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm calling him Pastor Dwayne Turner. Pastor Turner. This brother is heavy, and I wanted to just basically introduce him to you all. Pastor Turner, thank you for coming on to the program. How you like that? I'm having fun with this, man.
I see.
I'm having so much fun.
Nothing wrong with that.
But listen, let's see. I'm trying to do this all one myself. Pastor Turner, Jawanza Kunjufu wrote a book called Adam, Where Are You? Why Black Men Do Not Attend Church. Now, you may or may not have read that book. Let me ask you, have you read it? Have you
I
had a
haven't.
chance to read it? Okay. Well, let me give you the gist of the book then.
Yeah.
And then you can kind of, because I mean, I know it's within the realm of your expertise. Basically, he was asking the question and he did the research. The book was written about 20 years ago, 25 years
Okay.
ago or so. And he did the research, and he, because of the concerns of why men are not in church. And now, while I didn't agree with the conclusions, because he concluded that basically they were not speaking the gospel, the churches were becoming more of a show and all that kind of stuff, I felt that it was too feminized rather than teaching of Jesus. But that's what I want to kind of talk to you about this
All right.
afternoon. You've shared some of your thoughts with me before, and I kind of wanted to talk to you about that and let the people know what kind of brother you are and some of the things you are doing. Kind of introduce yourself to the audience and just kind of tell us a little bit about yourself to get us started here.
Most definitely. I've been ministering since I was about 16 years old, in and out of ministry, basically. I have more of a passion toward the broken, I guess the best way to put it. I think a lot of times we hide from our brokenness, and we all try to put on that face of perfection instead of just being ourselves, that genuine product of brokenness. And I think when we get to that point, then we can really get to healing. I heard the young lady earlier saying about her book, and it basically brings you to that point of trying to identify yourself through your goals of being real, authentic, and getting to yourself. And I think that's been my focus for years. I've been a person of faith since I was little. I came to Christ when I was a teenager at 15, and I got introduced to the truth at 19. I guess the best way to put it. And I put it that way because Paul spoke of the truth. Jesus spoke of, you should know the truth, and the truth shall set you free. And I got an opportunity to start really delving into the book, into the scriptures, into the script, and learning what the truth was in my life. And through my ups and downs and toss and turns, I was able to start applying that in my life and really building myself to the point where I am now. Throughout my issues, my problems, my concerns, I have freedom because I found truth.
Now let's go. Let's
yes, sir.
Take it from the top. This is good. I love the way you did that. Taking it from the top. Let's talk about brokenness first. What exactly is brokenness?
Brokenness is a point in your life that your mind has reached an impasse. You've reached a wall. You've reached a place. It's not a place of what we like to say depression or in, as the preachers say, Lodi bar in the scriptures, but it's a place where you have nowhere else to turn in you. You may want to pray. You may want to seek guidance from your friends, from your coworkers, from your family, but you're just at a place to where you just don't know anymore. And either you've gotten in trouble with the law, or you've gotten in trouble with yourself. You've gotten in trouble with God. You've destroyed your credit. You put yourself in a bad place to where you just in debt so far you don't know what to do. You're suffering from anxiety. Whatever that issue may be, it's gotten you to a place to where you can no longer see your way out, and that's a place of brokenness.
Now,
And
is that a good place in your philosophy? Would that be considered, or how would that fit into the whole scheme?
I would say it's a good place because it's a place that introduces you to your beginning. And I think we look at it as a negative thing. And I say that because most people go to the psychiatrist. They go get the Zoloft, they go get the the trazodone, they go get the things that's going to mellow them out and get them to a place. They go get the anxiety pills, they go get this, they go get that. And it puts you in a place to where, yes, you do mellow out. Yes, you do find your place in the medication. However, you lost your purpose in your brokenness. And I think that's what we have to learn, that we have always become better through our iniquities and transgressions. Diamonds are built because of pressure.
Okay, and that's a very good point. Now, with the human species, when the person says, I notice that people use this term brokenness as an insult to say you're not good enough for me, or you are not ready for something. It's more or less, and so no one wants to admit that they are broken. When we look at ourselves as a collective, we could easily conclude that we are broken people because we don't know where we're going. We seem to be confused and lost and sad and whatever. The pandemic hit, and it's like we did not get and being in the education field, and I'm in and out of different schools all the time. So I see the lack of help with respect to the depression, the unsureness that comes among the children as a result of this pandemic, and then this war that comes behind it. You can see the effect of it. So people use this as an insult, and as a result, men especially, how could you address it like that from the terms of men and we strong, we can't be broken. How do we handle that when we can't look at our ladies and show that, hey, I ain't got it all together as much as you think?
Yeah, we have to get to a place to where we understand that showing our emotions and our emotional state is not a bad thing. It's actually a natural thing. And I think we've been robbed of that from the beginning. And when I say the beginning, I'm meaning from the beginning when we were disconnected from our own heritage. We lost the ability to be authentic or authentically ourselves. And so we lost that disconnect of saying that, ow, it hurts. Now let my body heal itself and start with the crying, the whimpering, the cry out, or whatever that may be, because I don't want to show that emotion, because I am a man, because I am strong, because my uncle, my dad, or whoever told me men don't cry, or whatever the case may be. And so as a man, we have to go back and build again the things which were destroyed, as the scriptures say. We have to go back and build that again, of allowing ourselves to be able to cry, of allowing ourselves to be able to hurt. Because remember, crying is a cleansing. If we have an ability to cry, then our body has the ability to heal. And so when we don't cry, where are we getting our healing from? Where's the process starting? And so as a man, and especially in this day and age, we have to, as Black men, tap back into our power, because our power source comes from the tears, comes from the crying, comes from the anger, the emotion, and we're able to build off of that. So in this generation, we have to start teaching our younger generation, our young men, our 5 and our 10-year-olds, our 14 and 17 and 25-year-olds, that your pain is your catalyst to your future and
Now
to your healing.
that sounds great, Pastor Dwayne. It sounds great
Hmm.
on paper. Uh, now, taking that to the modern church,
Yeah.
and would not that be the greatest organization to facilitate that ability to start at that broken point without feeling like less of a man? Wouldn't that be the spot to start?
It
And
would.
now, but then we see today that we're not in church. We don't want to go to church. We don't trust the preachers. It's a fact, and no one wants to admit it. It's the man behind the curtain. We, so how can the church retool itself? Because obviously it needs to be retooled. It's presenting a product to us.
Yes.
And I hear ministers say this all the time. Well, y'all just don't want to be humble. You just don't want to be guided. You just
Yeah.
don't. Well, maybe your product is not appealing. Rather than, why are you gonna beat up on the guy you trying to sell it to? Maybe you got to retool the product. So how can they retool to facilitate this beautiful concept? And we just talking about the part of brokenness right now, but I want you to walk us through all of this. How can they retool from where they are now? And you would have to presume that they're in a place that the church proper is in some place that they need to retool.
Yeah. It starts with being authentic. And I must say that because when we're authentic, then that means we're original. We're genuine. We're the original article. And when men come to a church, the first thing they do is look around. And they look at the organization, they look at the elders, they look at the preacher, they look at the deacons. When the deacon come up, they're going to look at those different things because to a man, that's the leadership.
Absolutely.
Even if it's a lady pastor, they're still going to look at who she has with her, what men are there, what foundation is there, what strength is there. And when they do that, we forget, even though we're preachers and we're spiritual, even though that man may be coming in the door and we call them sinners or the unchurched or whoever, they can still see.
They can still see.
And if they know you and they see you and they see that you still struggling out there in the streets, they see you still cussing somebody out in the back door, in the back room, and still smoking and drinking over here, or whatever your issues are, then guess what? They're looking to hear that from you.
Yes.
They're not looking for you to get up there and preach a message talking about narrow the lie to me and everything is good and I'm going to heaven tomorrow. They're looking for you to talk about your struggles. They're looking for you to talk about that thing that's right there, that elephant in the room. And when they don't hear that, then men bow out. Women are more emotional, so they're going to stay there. They're going, oh, the pastor can change. We're going to pray that out. We're going to lay hands on. They cool with that. Men are more direct. We want to see that pastor is going to be authentic because guess what? We identify. And if I know my pastor can be real with his struggles or her struggles, then I can be real with my struggles and we all can try to make this thing work together. And I think that's what's lacking in today's church, because even though the messages are good and they're making us feel some type of way, but still, when are you going to start sharing your brokenness? When are you going to start sharing the things that you struggle with, and not just your overeating or things like that? I don't want to hear that
stuff that you want, that
you
would really be
I want to hear that stuff
about.
you've been struggling with since you were 5 years old. I want to hear how you still like them dudes that you see when you go into that locker room. I want to hear that type of stuff.
Let me tell you what I shared one time on the Sunday program. Because I had gotten into a situation of lack, and I was not sure about how I was going to feed my boys and how I was going to do this and do that. Then I began to liberate food.
Yeah.
You understand what I mean when I say liberate food?
Yes, sir.
I would liberate the food. After I came out of that situation, I still had the urge to liberate, and it has not gone away. But I always have to keep reminding myself, you don't need to liberate nothing. What are you talking about?
Yeah.
You see what
Yeah.
I'm saying?
Yeah.
And I shared that. Oh, you stealing? It wasn't. They was upset because I was tempted to steal.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But I shared that information, and as a result of sharing that information, the boys, it was they because I never told the boys how I got that steak,
Yeah.
because I didn't liberate little pieces of meat. I
Yes.
liberated T-bones. I liberated filet. I
Yeah.
liberated the best. If I'm gonna liberate it, I'm gonna liberate
Yeah.
it. But the thing is, I noticed from the adults a more judgmentalness about it, and from the children a more,
Yeah.
wow. They identify. Okay, I have my struggles too. They identify with. I told my sons, Pastor. I said, listen, fellas, you guys are going to see every single mistake that I make,
Yeah.
because we in close proximity, and I have to remind them over and over and over through the years. You're going to see every mistake I make. You're going
Yes.
to see the successes, but you're going to see every single mistake. So remember that as we're going through this journey of you having a single dad. So that authenticity that you mentioned, can the pastors do that and still keep their congregation?
Well, that's the problem, is that they're worried about the congregation. If you're really into what you say you are, and I'll put it that way, if you're really called to preach, called to minister, called to the bishopry or the apostleship, if you're really called to win souls or to lead people, then you're not concerned about how many people that you're leading. If it's three of them in that pulpit, and it's three of them in the pew, then God has called you to that. And however that work, He will work it out. He will sift the wheat from the tare. That's His
Okay.
business.
That's
Your
his
business
business.
is to go out
Exactly.
there and be authentic. Go out there
Absolutely.
and bring the message, because there's a message that you have for specific people. And so, yes, some of them are not going to do it because it's good for business for them to be secretive and to be on the pedestal and people not think their stuff stink. But when the dominoes fall, because they do,
Yes, they
that's
do.
when you see the ministries fall like they do and tumble down like they do. That's why you see ministries closing right today. It
Oh
wasn't
yeah.
all because of COVID. Some of that
Right.
stuff was just because the churches were bad. And
Absolutely.
so people are now
COVID grew as
understanding
an
that they
excuse.
have to move on to a different
Hmm.
thing. So we can't be involved or worried with that. Paul was talking about that in the scriptures, where he was saying, look, I have to become all things unto all men, that I may save some. So that means if I have to go into the Jew as a Jew, I have to do that. If I have to go to the Muslim as a Muslim, I have to do that. If I have to go to the sinner and I have to go out there and step out there on that boardwalk with them and go out there and minister with them, guess what? I need to do that because I've been called to them. I'm not
Right.
called to the folks in their church. I'm called
Right.
to help you get from Sunday to Sunday, but I'm called to the people out there that's needed. And that's
Right.
what I think we have gotten away from as the church today. And that's why we're losing so many men, because men have to be thrown that lifeline and
Right.
reeled into the church. And once they're in there, we have to feed them, not just
Absolutely.
in words, but we have to feed them in deeds. We have to give
Absolutely.
them something that they're going to be uh, attributed to and loving
Hmm.
and caring to and going in there and building. That's something that they can work with their hands and
Yes.
do things they have to do. And guess what? Allow them to. Stop being
Absolutely.
so judgmental about that brother over there with the sweet walk, or that
Right.
brother over there that we know that's looking at every sister.
Yeah.
Stop worried about all that. That's God's business. You
That's
preach
right.
and you allow
Hmm.
God to use them. Stop being so judgmental, because that's not your purpose, nor is it your
Absolutely.
responsibility. The
So,
scripture says only ye who is spiritual will judge, because the spiritual person know it's not your job to judge.
right.
Yeah,
Right.
and that's the
Absolutely.
difference.
So now you got the you got you in the brokenness,
Yes.
and you acknowledging that, and What's the next step? What do we do now? We're broken.
Once you
How do
get out
we?
of the brokenness, it's a place of responsibility. Romans 12, 1 and 2. Paul wrote, he said, I beseech you, brethren. In other words, he said, I'm begging you by the mercies of God that you present yourself a living sacrifice, holy, acceptable, which is a reasonable service. And then he said, be ye transformed by the renewing of your mind. Don't be part of this world. Don't be part of the things that's going on, but be transformed by the renewing of your mind. And in that, you will find yourself getting closer to God, closer to the things of God, closer to the things of your purpose. And I think if we really pay attention in there, we'll understand that there's nothing in there that he said that he was going to do. Right. Those are all things that you needed to do. And so there's a responsibility point after you get to a point of understanding that you're broken. Now I have to be responsible of understanding my brokenness. I have to be understanding of that. And then once I understand it, now it's time for me to be responsible and start climbing out of it. Because if I climb out of it, he's going to make a pathway for me to get to the place where I need to. Back to what the sister was saying earlier. You make your vision board. You put your vision board. If I know that I'm struggling, I'm smoking all the time, and I know that I need to get off this weed or these cigarettes or whatever it is my moment is, let me make a vision board so I can get off of it. And God, let me speak that thing into existence. Let me work on that. And once I conquer that, that's one less thing in my life. Now I can move to the next thing. And the things that I can conquer, guess what? Leave it alone. Paul said he prayed 3 times. Asking God to take a thorn out of his flesh. And what did God tell him? Boy, my grace is sufficient with thee. Get the step. So we have to understand that some things won't change in our life. Some things we just have to live with. And so we have to understand that that's the responsibility part. Understand the things that, don't judge yourself. Because God gave you freedom. Paul said there's nothing in this world, nothing that's not lawful unto me, is what he said. But all things, he said, all things are lawful. He said, just not all things edify. Right. And so we have to understand the difference. I could do whatever I wanted to do because I'm free in Christ, but not everything that I choose to do because I'm free in Christ will edify my spirit. And so I have to learn the things that I know I don't need to do, because if I do it in front of you, it may put you in a place to where you are now offended. And if I do that, it comes back on me because I am free. You see how that works?
And I see exactly how it works. This freedom, this is the freedom.
Yes.
See, and I was talking to the sister on the last segment about this. You know, I took it from the individual and then tried to make it a family and then get to a community. And I talk about the community and the idea of freedom. The reason I'm harping on that idea is because I got a sense that we don't understand what freedom really is.
You're right.
It means to be free.
You're right.
See, and some people have gotten offended at the fact that, you know, I claim I'm a free man. Well,
you're supposed to be.
Taxes, you do that. No, you don't understand what I mean when I say you have people in prison who are free.
Yes, sir. Trust me. I didn't see them
behind jail cells that are
I didn't see them. You're right about it.
So we have to come to you mentioned this verse about all things are lawful.
Yes, sir.
You can do or think whatever you want. But what was the other part about it? It's not expedient. It's not.
Everything doesn't edify.
It doesn't edify. It does not make you a better person or add to your life or to the life of someone else.
And if it doesn't, don't do it. And that's that's the simple thing of being free. And people say, well, where you get that from? Jesus said it. Whom the Son set free, he's what? Free indeed. So you calling Jesus a lie? He said it. So since he said it, if you're in him, because these the same people that don't believe it, they say they're Christians, but you gave your life to the person who died for you so you can be free. And if he's telling you you are free, then get your mind out of the sin-sick world of this place and learn that you are free in him. And once you understand you have freedom, now my mind is free and know that I can wake up every day. I can pray and say, Father, lead me in my day. And I can walk that life without worrying about what I'm doing wrong, how I did it wrong, if I'm going to do it wrong, because I know that everything that I can do and want to do is freedom. But guess what? I won't do everything that I want to do because I
Right.
know everything doesn't edify me. If I walk in that bank and just take money from them, it's not going to edify me because the
Right.
Fed's going to give me at least 5 years in prison.
Well,
And
that's
so I
assuming you
understand
walk
that.
out. That's assuming you walk
I
out.
understand that. And
Yes.
so the thing is that you understand the things that you should and should not do because you understood that too.
Now, in
Yes,
our
sir.
society, in
Uh-huh.
our society, black men in particular are bombarded with guilt. You are
Yes.
guilty. I was in the grocery store just the other day, and this is just amazing, by the way, when I have a tie on versus when I have just a shirt and pants on. This lady was standing there. We're in a crowd, but
Yeah.
I'm standing there right next to her somewhat, and I could literally see the thought in her mind. Ooh, I better get my purse out this
Yeah.
basket. I mean, it was just amazing. I could literally, my point is, every from every level, every institution is guilt
Yes.
bombarding us, which hampers this idea of freedom. So when we go to church
Yes.
and then we hear this guilt laid on us, in addition to the guilt that the world lays on us, what is the difference between the world and the church?
It's none because it's the same mindset. Because guess what? The preacher hasn't changed. The church hasn't changed. They're still living in that same sin sick world that they preach against. And so the thing is that we have to learn to separate our minds from all of that. Get away from the guilt, the condemnation. The scriptures say in Romans 8:1, it said, therefore, there is now no condemnation to
Right,
those who are in Christ Jesus. Meaning that if I say I'm in him and I know him, I'm no longer condemned. And
right.
I'm not worried about you condemning me. I remember I walked in the store, I think it was back in probably about 97, because I had my construction company back then. And I remember I was in Lowe's and I was going to buy some stuff that we couldn't get from the contractor. And so I'm in there and I probably had about a good $4,000 worth of stuff and they were bringing it to me. So I'm standing there waiting on it at the contractor's desk. And this lady was sitting there. And to your point, I saw her grab her purse. She pulled her son close to her. And this is
Mm-hmm.
out in DeSoto. I'm gonna tell them. And so I was out in DeSoto. I used to live out there. And so I'm sitting there and I'm like, okay, she tripping. So I waited for her husband to come and he put all this stuff up there. So I said, you know what? I'm gonna do what my grandmama said, kill him with kindness. So
There
as
you
soon as
go.
that dude got through ringing up all of their stuff, all their
Mm-hmm.
roofing material and everything else, it was about a good $4,600. I said, ma'am, don't worry about that. I got that. Took out my card, swiped it
Mm-hmm.
right quick and paid for it. And the look on her face, her husband was like, oh my God, I needed that. I needed that. And it
See?
blessed him so, but it killed
Yes.
her.
Yeah. Ooh.
You understand that?
Oh,
It killed
yes.
her because
Yes.
now the same person that you were grabbing your purse and grabbing your son because you thought I was going to do something to him just paid and blessed you in a place where I didn't even know you needed a blessing. I was just doing it
Right.
just to hurt you, really, just to get
Right.
back at you for looking at me
Right.
like I was
Wow.
crazy. But that's
Uh-huh.
what the scriptures say. The scripture
Yes.
said that we have to get to a point to where we understand that it's not my place to condemn, to judge you, but it's my place to actually love you into submission.
And
It's my
that's
place
freedom.
to
And
kill you
that's
with
freedom.
kindness. That's freedom.
Right. That's
Yes,
freedom.
sir.
It
That's
is
freedom.
freedom. And when the brothers, when men, when we elevate above the condemnation, as you said,
Yes.
elevate, there's no condemnation. Even if you sense it,
Yeah.
realize that this is just a false sense you got. You can elevate it by, like you said, killing them with kindness or doing something that's out of a free man's thought.
But
You
the
know,
key is you got to know it.
yes,
See, if you don't know that you're free and you're not living in that freedom, then everything someone says to you, do to you, or think about you is going to hurt you to your core. Now,
so
you can speak it all day long.
yes,
Yes,
again,
sir. But you have to know it.
how does the Christian church, and I'm gonna have some Muslims on here too,
Yes,
some
sir.
Muslim brothers. How do the Christian church come to the place where helping us to know this? See, because it's there's we're not going because there's not something being offered that
Yeah.
we need, and it's obvious that we need it, but
Yeah.
the church is either not marketing it in a way that we can digest it and they can stimulate the desire? How do you do that? How do you
Well,
go? I mean, it's
get
plenty
get out your
women in the
comfort zone.
church.
Get out your comfort
Okay.
zone. And I'm a quote Farrakhan. Farrakhan was preaching one time at the Baptist church. I believe he might have been in Houston. And he was actually telling them this same thing, that if you really want to get out of your comfort zone and knowing that you are free, because that's what he was saying, then first start with the man that's back there on your wall. And everybody started turning around, looking at that wall. They had a white Jesus back there.
Ooh.
I know it's gonna hurt some people's hearts, but they were like,
Ooh-wee.
he was like, I believe in Jesus, but not
Yeah.
that one.
Not that
And he
fella.
pointed at that wall, and he said, if you're gonna start there, because if
Yes.
you start getting yourself into the place where the scriptures say, where life says, where the things that we know are truth say, then it
Mhm.
will bring you and lead you to a place to where you can be free of spirit, free of mind, free of heart. And now
Right.
you can't get into those places. And to be honest with you, there's a lot of things that Buddhists and Muslims do,
Yeah.
or in that Muslim faith, that we should pay attention to and attribute to
Absolutely.
our own life, because it
Yes.
gives us that that assuredness. What Jesus said,
Yes.
what Paul said. Paul said, I don't care what it is. I'm not going to
Mm.
let nothing separate me from the love of
There it
Christ.
is.
And a
There
lot
it
of
is.
Christians quote that, but they don't believe it
They don't.
because they let
Mhm.
stuff separate them every day.
Mm, mm,
Yeah,
mm,
they
mm,
let it
mm.
separate them every day. And they ain't talking about sin and all that stuff. I'm talking about the love of Christ, because the love of Christ went beyond that. It went past
Yes.
that. He don't even worry about
Absolutely.
your sin no more. Why are you worried
Absolutely.
about it?
Why are you
And
worried
so,
about it?
yeah, why are
Why do
you
you
worried about
see?
it? Yeah,
Why do you see something that you say God can't see?
yeah. The,
You
the
say
scriptures
God
say
can't look upon
his
sin, but you
blood
can
is
see it
covering
everywhere.
everything. Your sin is in the sea of forgetfulness. You can't see it. He can't see it. Why are you worried about it? And that's the
Okay.
problem with the church, because condemnation sells.
Mm,
Condemnation puts you in the seat.
mm.
When you condemn, you pay your tithes.
Oh,
When
that's a
you
good
condemn,
point.
you sing in the choir.
Ooh,
You
man, that
show up.
you talking now, brother.
Yeah,
You
it's
talking.
hard to be free and show up,
Okay.
but it's easy to be condemned and show up because you're looking for something.
Man,
So
hold on,
that's,
brother. Hold
yeah,
on.
go
I
ahead.
gotta I, I gotta give you applause for that. that was it.
Yes,
That
sir.
was
That's
it,
the
brother.
problem. But
Yes.
if you learn to be free, then guess how much more your experience will be when you get that
Yes.
pew. When you get to
Yes.
that pew, when you worship, when you sing in the choir, when you preach that message, guess how much more free you will be when you're in that moment. That's how you get back
Yes.
to the revival of the old days. They were free.
Okay.
We
Yes, they
lost
were
that
free.
because we started making money.
Okay, we start making man, Pastor. I gotta close this program out. Tell us how we can get in touch with you. What's going on? Your ministry. Just tell us what's going on, man.
Hey
How?
man, you can contact me on my Instagram, on my Twitter. All of it at Dwayne Turn Silk. You can contact me here on my Facebook. I'm basically just out there ministering to whoever need me to come. You can contact me, like I said, at any moment you have. I'm actually in the process of starting a new ministry and
Good.
reaching out to the people, the brokenhearted, those who need direction in the right way. And
Yes.
that's just what we're here to do.
Pastor Dwayne. Thank you, my brother, for coming on the program today.
Yes,
And
sir.
I will be talking to you soon, my brother. Thank you
Most
again.
definitely.
All right. All right. Take care. Well, ladies and gentlemen, this was the inaugural show. And we had a couple of good guests on here. If you want to be a guest, if you have something you want to say, go ahead and drop me a line in my email. Let's start off like that. And just describe what you want to say on the program, and maybe we'll get you on. It's alonzo.fleming@outlook.com. alonzo.fleming@outlook.com. You're listening to Vision for Young Men, and we coming on at 7:30 to about 8:30 or 9:30, 7 o'clock to 8:30, I should say, every Wednesday. Don't forget to listen to Sunday School too. Sunday School is at 9:45 right here on the internet, and I'll be teaching. I'm dealing with the unraveling of a great nation. So listen, until Sunday, You have a great holiday, and I will see you soon.